images didn't just flash when Jason Momoa walked the red carpet at the opening of a Minecraft story, they froze. The star, who is known for having a tough warrior-like look, didn't look like himself at all. He laughed easily, had a tight grip on his girlfriend's hand, and looked just like the man who had fallen. Not easy. The moment should have made them feel good, but the mood changed. On X, 3 simple words showed up. This makes me feel bad. One shot was of Momoa's new girlfriend, and the other was of Momoa's ex-wife Lisa Bonet when she was much younger. In a word, the similarity was creepy. Within minutes, people on the internet went from being happy about Jason's bright change to being confused and worried. Was it love? Was it something else? Now every person has the same question. So what is going on with Jason Momoa? Let's find out. Opening that made a lot of people talk. The time Jason Momoa walked into the premiere of a Minecraft story was like something out of a Hollywood movie. In a sleek purple suit, the Aquaman star was surrounded by his proud mother Coney and his beautiful new girlfriend. He was almost glowing. The rough-and-tumble person from previous jobs was gone. In his place stood a man who had changed. Fans say they are healthier, happy, and head over heels in love. His trip to the Minecraft story launch wasn't just to show off his newest work. It was an open show of a man in love, enjoying life with a new sense of calm. His eyes sparkled in a way that fans had never seen them do before. He stood up straight and flashed a big smile. There was no doubt about it. Everyone saw that Jason was happy. His body language said a lot, and both fans and experts couldn't help but comment on it. Despite being tall, he had a softness to him now that was different from the confidence he showed on screen. He wrapped his girlfriend's arms around her easily and held her hand in a way that made her feel loved, cared for, and owned. He looked at her with eyes locked, as if she were the only person in the world at that moment. It was like something out of a love movie. The star seemed to have found something that made him whole, something outside of the fame and fortune of Hollywood and the lot of work that fame brings. He wasn't just walking the red carpet. A lot of people were very upset at that time. People around him could tell that love had eased him as he laughed with his mother and girlfriend. There was no denying the change both in the body and the mind. She was wearing a purple dress that matched, and she smiled right back at him. Fans went crazy for how they played together, held hands, whispered sweet nothings, and looked at each other knowingly. There was no denying that the couple had energy. It was clear they wore matching clothes and looked at each other lovingly. This wasn't a stunt to get attention, it was a real bond. There was a lot of praise on social media. Fans said they looked like the kind of love we all dream about when they walked the red carpet. In just a few hours, the hashtags Jason Momoa and couple goals went viral. But as the cameras clicked and hearts skipped a beat, a shadow began to appear. An abrupt word changes the mood. It began with a single post of 3 words. This makes me feel bad. 2 pictures were sent along, one of Momoa's new girlfriend and the other of his ex-wife Lisa Bonet when she was younger. The similarity was creepy, strange, and went viral right away. At first, a lot of people thought it was just a strange coincidence. It is normal for people to look like each other, especially when they are in the same group. But as the tweet gained popularity, the conversation quickly went off the rails. Fans, who were once full of praise for Jason's new relationship, started to look at every detail more closely. There was no denying how much the 2 women were alike, the same vivid dark eyes and skin tone, and even the fashion of their hair. On top of that, their faces in the pictures looked strangely alike, making it seem like they had more in common than just looks. Soon, there were a lot of discussions on Reddit and Twitter about every picture of Jason and his new girlfriend. People were comparing her behavior to Lisa's and even looking at how she walked in public. Some fans said it seemed like Jason had found a partner who looked a lot like Lisa. Others started to guess what that person might be like. In this case, was there an unconscious mental tie? Was Jason trying to find comfort in a woman who looked like his ex-wife to fill the void their split left? What started out as a party to celebrate Jason's growing happiness turned into a painful reminder of his past. Fans, many of whom were very protective of Lisa Bonet and the love she used to have with Jason, found themselves wondering if the new relationship was real. Was it love? Or was it something much stranger? It was easy to feel the change. Before, this relationship seemed like something out of a fairy tale. Now it was more like a confused and unsettling part of Jason's personal life. As someone on Twitter put it, it seems like he's trying to replace her. The love story wasn't over, but things were very different now. Divorce is a dark cloud, and the shadow it casts. It wasn't just that Jason Momoa's new girlfriend looks a lot like Lisa Bonet that people were talking about it. With Jason's recent split from Lisa hanging over his every move like a cloud, there were layers of complexity below the surface of all the public love and smiles. Fans and people in the entertainment business were shocked when Jason and Lisa broke up. It was very different from the picture of a perfect relationship they had built up over the years. The couple had been together for almost 20 years. When they announced their breakup in early 2022, many people were curious about why they did it. Even though they had kids together and were very close, it seemed like Hollywood's pressures could break even the strongest ties. Jason and Lisa had always seemed like a great match. They were both laid back and passionate about their work and lives, and they seemed to have a connection that went beyond the chaos of their jobs. People really liked this couple, but when they said they were breaking up, fans had more questions than answers. The breakup was quiet, and neither person said much to explain what happened. After that, stories spread about a lot of things, from differences in how they lived to how Jason's job affected their family life. But despite the guesses, it wasn't clear what the truth was. After only a year apart, Jason went to the opening of a Minecraft story with a new woman by his side. And all of a sudden, it was impossible to ignore the emotional reasons behind his relationship decisions. Was this new woman just a chance for Jason to start over? Or was there something deeper going on in their minds? Were his inner thoughts trying to bring back the comfort of his last relationship with someone who looked a lot like Lisa Bonet? The internet quickly started to wonder what Jason was up to. Is it possible that the split hurt him so much that he looked for a partner who looked a lot like his ex-wife? Could it be that after losing Lisa, he was drawn to someone who, in his mind, filled the void she left? A lot of fans were upset by this way of thought. Did Jason's new relationship come from the need to replace an old love? If so, was it fair to either of them? Was this real love, or was it just something Jason used to help him deal with the pain of his past? The psychological link? Love or repetition? The story about Jason Momoa's new connection turned into something much deeper and more psychological as the days went by. Many people, including experts, fans, and casual watchers, started to think about why he might be dating a woman who looked a lot like Lisa Bonet. Theories kept coming in, some positive and some negative, but the main question stayed the same. Is Jason Momoa really in love, or is he just repeating patterns from his past to try to heal hurts he hasn't fully dealt with? People who have had deep emotional ties often find themselves drawn to partners who remind them of past loves. This is something psychologists call repetition compulsion. It's a mental pattern in which people look for relationships that are similar to ones they had in the past, especially ones that were emotionally important to them. This could be an unconscious way for some people to try to remember a time when they felt safe, loved, and understood. For some, it might be an attempt to deal with feelings from the past that they haven't dealt with yet. But in Jason's case, it was hard to ignore how much his new girlfriend looked like his ex-wife, Lisa Bonet. Some fans had to deal with the uncomfortable truth that Jason's new relationship might not be as good for him as it seemed. They asked him if he was really ready to move on or if he was stuck in the past and hoping for mental closure that would never come. In a letter, a friend said, "It seems like Jason is trying to pick up where he left off with Lisa. Lisa isn't coming back though, and even though she looks a lot like her, she's not her." For some, the similarity wasn't so much a red flag as it was a natural next step. Relationships change over time, and Jason may have been drawn to someone who reminded him of Lisa after being with her for years. As he looked for a partner with physical and mental similarities to the woman he used to think of as his soulmate, his new relationship could be seen as a sign that he was getting better emotionally. But one thing became clear as the argument went on. More than just being interested in Jason's love life, people were crazy about his new lady. It showed how deeply people felt about him, Lisa, and the idea of love in general. Even though everyone wanted Jason to be happy, they couldn't get rid of the feeling that his new relationship was missing something, even though they couldn't say what it was. The backlash from the people, and mixed feelings. There was a lot of talk about Jason Momoa's new relationship, and it became clear that not everyone was happy about it. At first, people were very excited, but soon they had different opinions. Fans who used to admire him for being honest and open were now trying to figure out what he was up to. Some didn't believe that he could go from being divorced to dating in public so quickly, and others didn't like the idea that he might be trying to replace Lisa Bonet with someone who looks so much like her. When a number of well-known Hollywood stars spoke out, the backlash really heated up. An unnamed person close to Jason talked to a well-known news site. They said the actor was still troubled by his breakup. "There are many sides to Jason," the source said. "He's been through a lot, and I think he's drawn to someone who makes him feel like Lisa did under the surface. It seems like he's trying to find that lost link. This is a common behavior, but it's not the best way to start a new relationship." The statement made the argument stronger. Some people thought it supported the idea that Jason was still emotionally connected to his past and couldn't let go of his connection with Lisa. For some, it seemed like they were prying into Jason's private life and trying to describe his new relationship as unhealthy without really understanding how he felt. The conversations on social media went from being very positive to being very negative. Some fans jumped to Jason's defense and said he was free to forget about his past and meet someone new. Someone wrote, "He can date whoever he wants. We do not own him or the decisions he makes. Allow him to be glad." People, on the other hand, thought Jason's new relationship was strange, as if he was using it to hide the pain of his breakup. Another reviewer said, "It's too early and too strange. Lisa's new girlfriend looks just like Lisa. There is no way that wasn't done on purpose, even if Jason doesn't know it. I just hope he's being honest with himself and not just trying to heal a wound by repeating the past." As these differing opinions continued to flood the internet, it became clear that Jason's personal life was no longer just his own. The narrative had taken on a life of its own, with fans and critics alike playing out their own versions of his emotional journey. Was this love, or was it a rebound? Was he truly ready to move on, or was he merely caught in a cycle of emotional repetition? Despite the growing tensions, Jason remained largely silent on the matter, letting the media frenzy play out without much input from him. His decision not to address the growing controversy only seemed to fuel more speculation. Lisa Bonet's quiet grace and the power of contrast. While Jason Momoa and his new girlfriend basked in the spotlight, Lisa Bonet remained largely silent, graceful, and dignified in her absence. It was this silence, this steady refusal to participate in the media circus that spoke volumes. Where Jason's love life was front and center, Lisa's quiet attachment offered a stark contrast, one that many couldn't help but admire. Bonet had always been an enigma in Hollywood, a woman of quiet strength, artistic soul, and spiritual depth. She seemed to exist outside the Hollywood machine. Her relationship with Jason was often viewed as a grounding force for the actor. She was the calm to his storm. Their union felt sacred, almost ethereal, with shared passions for nature, family, and creativity. When the divorce was announced, it felt like something ancient had cracked. Though she released no statement after the premiere of a Minecraft story, her name trended on social media that night. Fans flooded timelines with photos of Lisa and Jason together, quoting interviews from years past, remembering the love they thought would last forever.